Hi, welcome back to my channel. This episode is entitled, Now is Not the Time to Waiver, Part 3. Bear with me as we go into chapter 24. In it, there are specific blessings of victories allotted to the children of Israel. Be aware that our disobedience towards God can cause a matter to turn. This is established in chapter 28 of the book of Deuteronomy from verses 15 to 68. It is pertinent because it was prophesied against the people of Israel, and it is also prophesied and is coming to pass for Mystery Babylon, the United States of America. He that hath an ear, let him hear what the Spirit saith unto the churches. To him that overcometh will I give to eat of the tree of life, which is in the midst of the paradise of God. Without obedience, this is impossible. It is not applicable to partial obedience or obedience when it is feasible to you. Just as we see Balaam become subjective to the will of God, it is temporary for him. Know of a surety that God takes it personally when you are an offense to his people. But no matter who you are, disobedience is intolerable to him. But I have a few things against you, because you have there some among you who are holding to the corrupt teaching of Balaam, who taught Balak to put a stumbling block before the sons of Israel, enticing them to eat things that had been sacrificed to idols and to commit acts of sexual immorality. These things continue to happen and have become worse. Yet people want to believe that certain sins are insignificant in the eyes of the Lord, that it is our right to live any way we want. God does give every man, angel, principality, or power free will. Just remember that we will be held accountable for our lusts and greed, for our self-seeking, narcissistic, and egotistical behavior. When Balaam saw that it pleased the Lord to bless Israel, he did not go as he had done each time before, superstitiously to seek omens and signs in the natural world, but he set his face toward the wilderness or desert. This is the biblical definition that is given for the desert. The desert is often symbolic of a place of testing, transformation, and spiritual encounter with God. It represents a harsh environment where individuals are stripped bare and are forced to solely rely on God's provision, leading to deeper faith and a closer relationship with Him. Only if you are willing and unrelenting. And Balaam raised his eyes, and he saw Israel living in their tents, tribe by tribe. And the Spirit of God came on him. He took up his third discourse, oracle, and said, The oracle of Balaam the son of Beor, and the oracle of the man whose eyes is opened, at last to see clearly the purpose and will of God. The oracle of one who hears the words of God, who sees the vision of the Almighty, falling down, but having his eyes open and uncovered, in a trance but awake. How fair are your tents, O Jacob, and your tabernacles, O Israel! Like valleys that stretch out, like gardens beside the river, like aloes planted by the Lord, like cedars beside the waters. Water, that is great blessings, will flow from his buckets, and his offspring will live by many waters. And his king will be higher than Agag, and his kingdom shall be exalted. God brought Israel out of Egypt. Israel has strength like the wild ox. He will devour the Gentile nations, his adversaries and enemies, and will crush their bones in pieces and shatter them with his arrows. He bowed down to rest. He lies down as a lion and as a great lion. Who dares to rouse him? Blessed of God is he who blesses you, and cursed of God is he who curses you. As Balaam prophesies his fourth discourse or oracle, he also speaks into his own future, even if he does not know it at the time. After he blessed Israel 3 times. Pay attention because it shows that he is double-minded and would not endure, just as many who turn away from Christ today. He proves that the word will come to pass as spoken, whether now or later. And Balak's anger was kindled against Balaam, and he smote his hands together. And Balak said unto Balaam, I called thee to curse mine enemies, and behold, thou hast altogether blessed them these 3 times. Therefore now flee thou to thy place. I thought to promote thee unto great honor, but lo, the Lord hath kept thee back from honor. If Balak would give me his house full of silver and gold, I cannot go beyond the commandment of the Lord, to do either good or bad of mine own mind. But what the Lord saith, that will I speak. Before I go any further, I want to remind you that God is multidimensional, omniscient, and omnipresent. Judgment is upon the lands. They are becoming inhabitable in certain places. Devastation is touching lives over the world. As neurosis abounds, making people erratic and unstable. And now behold, I go into my people. Come therefore, and I will advertise thee what this people shall do to thy people in the latter days. And he took up his parable and said, Balaam the son of Beor hath said, And the man whose eyes were open has said, He hath said, which heard the words of God, and knew the knowledge of the Most High, which saw the vision of the Almighty, falling into a trance, but having his eyes open. I shall see him, but not now. I shall behold him, but not nigh. There shall come a star out of Jacob, and a scepter shall rise out of Israel, and shall smite the corners of Moab, and destroy all the children of Sheth. And Edom shall be a possession. Seir also shall be a possession for his enemies. And Israel shall do valiantly. Out of Jacob shall come he that shall have dominion, and shall destroy him that remaineth of the city. And when he looked on Amalek, he took up his parable and said, Amalek was the first of the nations, but his latter end shall be that he perish forever. Can I tell you something? God has a long memory for his true adversaries. And do you want to know why? This is for the mockers and scoffers. The heart is deceitful above all things and desperately wicked. Who can know it? I, the Lord, search the hearts. I try the reins, even to give every man according to his ways and according to the fruit of his doings. For ever since the creation of the world, his invisible attributes, his eternal power and divine nature, have been clearly seen, being understood through his workmanship, all his creation, the wonderful things that he has made, so that they who fail to believe and trust in him are without excuse and without defense. And he looked on the Kenites and took up his parable and said, Strong is thy dwelling place, and thou puttest thy neck in a rock. Nevertheless, the Kenite shall be wasted, until Ashur shall carry thee captive. And he took up his parable and said, Alas, who shall live when God doeth this? And ships shall come from the coast of Chittim, and shall afflict Ashur, and shall afflict Eber, and he also shall perish forever. And Balaam rose up and went and returned to his place. And Balak also went his way. As I close, please pay particular attention to this last scripture, particularly in this day and age where a man is exalted above God. Thus saith the Lord, Cursed be the man that trusteth in man, and maketh flesh his arm, and whose heart departeth from the Lord. Some were never of God, yet I digress by the Spirit. Know who you are. They went out from us, seeming at first to be Christians, but they were not really of us, because they were not truly born again and spiritually transformed. For if they had been of us, they would have remained with us. But they went out teaching false doctrine, so that it would be clearly shown that none of them are of us. Always coming from a place of love and in truth. And again, I humbly offer you some additional resources as the Lord is bringing them to me. As this prophet has described, given to her from God, so that you may prepare for what is to come. Click the link below. The end times are upon us, and because of my love for the Lord and my family, and for you, and the great sorrow that I feel as I see those around me walking in oblivious darkness and untruths, I feel compelled to provide Celestial's teachings to you. The links are referenced but inactive on the vlogs, but are available on the blog/podcast pages of my site at BenevolentWoman.com. Please visit Celestial's site, the Master's Voice Prophecy blog. Also visit School of the Hebrews with Pastor Omar Tabo. God is calling his people. Thank you again. Thank you.